Welcome back, everyone, to Data Science for Everyone. Today, we're going to be looking at grounded theory, methods, or analysis. Let's get started. So, to begin with, grounded theory is an approach that uses simultaneous data collection and analysis, and as such, can be applied to ethnography, case studies, historical, or action research. Grounded theory is a process of qualitative analysis, not a research method. It is the general method of comparative analysis. Grounded theory approach will influence the design of a research method, and it is not a research method in its own right. What defines a grounded theory is not particularly research method, but a set of components and principles that need to be included in a research design. The major principles of grounded theory are the research question, a simultaneous collection and analysis, sampling towards theory construction, constructing data categories from empirical data, developing theory during each step of the data collection process, and memo writing as a way of advancing theory. A grounded theory approach to research is solely focused on discovery. It is a process of analysis that is intended neither to answer specific questions nor to test an existing hypothesis. Grounded theory methods are suitable for studying individual processes, interpersonal relationships, and the reciprocal effects between individuals and larger social processes. The question most of these studies begin with is something like, how do people engage in information seeking process? The only focus of this process and of the particular user group, the purpose is discovery, to engage in research to find out what is going on and why the research begins with a very broad question, and it is not until the researcher begins to observe and collect data that the focus starts to emerge. We can engage in questioning without restricting our investigation. Watch for actions and processes as what people say. Delineate the context of actions carefully and record what is done by whom and why. Identify the conditions under which actions, intentions, and processes emerge. In grounded theory, it is important to emphasize the simultaneous involvement in data collection and analysis phases of the research. Inductive data analysis is an ongoing process from the outset. The method of analysis is essential to the formulation of a theory grounded in raw data. It is impossible to conduct this type of research by engaging in the data collection phase and then moving on to a data analysis phase. The process does not allow for this linear approach. We have to take an iterative approach, constantly moving between data collection and analysis. The logic and power of purposeful sampling lies in selecting information-rich cases for study in depth. Information-rich cases are those from which one can learn a great deal about the issues of central importance to the purpose of the research, thus the team purposeful sampling. In grounded research, the approach to sampling is always purposive and always theoretical. Theoretical sampling is a type of purpose sampling. Theoretical sampling is driven by the data. There can be no a priori identification of precise participants, as we do not know what it is we need to know until we begin to interrogate our data. Theoretical sampling involves starting with data, constructing tentative ideas about the data, and then examining these ideas through further empirical inquiry. The size and structure of the sample cannot be known in advance. The only guideline is the sample a category until we are confident of its saturation. Developing categories begins with coding the data. The categories will emerge from the rules we create for our codes as a high-level conceptual form of the codes. Codes are created as a shorthand descriptors of each data element. Categories are developed as descriptions of the codes. This process ensures that the categories did emerge from the data and were not created by the researcher without any empirical evidence. Grounded theory relies on the creation of codes and categories that have emerged from the data and are not preconceived hypotheses. The purpose of grounded theory is to produce theory based on empirical evidence. Theory emerges from the data and grows as we confirm and add to it through the further empirical investigation. A grounded theory must correspond closely to the data if it is applied in daily situations. That means intimate and constant interaction with the data allows theory to emerge, not looking for specific data to confirm the preconceived idea or assumption. The significance of theory that has emerged directly from the data means also that researchers, practitioners, and lay people alike can understand it because it has been arrived at from real world evidence, not abstract conceptualization. There are two main stages in theory development. The first is to produce a substantive theory, which is directly related to and situated in the substantive area investigation. This theory comes first and is directly relevant to the context of research investigation dealing with very specific and real events. From substantive theory, formal theory is developed, which takes the theory to a higher level abstraction. Formal theories rarely emerge from a single study. Single studies tend to produce substantive theories relating to a specific situation, which is usually exactly what the researcher wants, particularly if it is practitioner research that is focused on their own situation. Memo writing is a pivotal intermediate step between data collection and drafting papers. Theory emerges as a process of constant interaction with the evidence and emerging categories. This means continuous commentary by researchers on the data in the form of memos. Usually, memos are written as attachments to the data and are kept in a well-maintained researcher's diary or log. Memo writing has a number of benefits for grounded theory. Primarily, it is the process of visualizing your analysis and thinking out loud about what you are seeing, reading, feeling, and understanding in your data. It forces you to stop and think about the data to make sense of it and give it some meaning in the context of your research question. This constant writing allows you to develop your own rhythm in terms of emerging theory, and it helps to initiate ideas about relationships within the data. A grounded theory will be readily applicable to and indicated by the data and be meaningfully relevant to and be able to explain the behavior under the study. Grounded theory is not a research method. It is a process for a logical analysis of qualitative data. To analyze data, we need to use accumulated knowledge, not to dispense with it. To carry out grounded theory analysis, it is necessary to be open to all eventualities and not to allow prior theory to drive the data collection nor the analysis. The emphasis must always remain on theory and emerging from the data. If you guys like this video, please comment, subscribe, and hit that like button, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.